Hi everyone! I'm doing a doll customizing video again, but this one was incredibly challenging for me. I'm customizing a Blythe doll for the first time, and I'm turning it into myself. These self-portrait dolls have been all over my For You page. They all look so pretty, so of course I wanted to make one too. I spent so much money on this. I got a bunch of new materials that I haven't used before. I tried a lot of new things. There were ups and downs in the process, but let's just get into it. I got the doll on Aliexpress and went on a little shopping spree while I was at it. I will link all the listings in the description, though they may or may not be available by the time this video comes out. I bought one with brown hair and bangs, articulated body, and a bunch of extra hands. The first thing I do is take the doll apart. I am carefully following this tutorial by Unreal Little Studio. I will link it in the description as well. They explain it much better than I ever could. It actually wasn't as hard as it looks. The hardest part for me was actually separating the faceplate. You're supposed to press on it on the sides, but it just wouldn't click for me. That part took me a good 5 minutes. A unique part of these dolls is the eye mechanism. You pull a string to make the doll blink and change its eye color. I really wanted to make sure I don't lose any pieces from it or anything. It's easy to mess it up. The hair is also unique. It's only rooted at the top of the head on a separate piece, but there's a lot of it so the doll doesn't look bald, and it's really soft as well. At the very end I removed the eyelashes. I will replace them later. Next I did the eyes. To remove the eye chips you need a candle or a lighter and hot glue sticks. Heat up the glue stick and stick it to the eye chip. Leave it to cool down for a few minutes and just pop the eye chip out. I actually got it first try, which surprised me. Then I drew some new eyes. Usually people draw these digitally and print them out, but I don't have a printer, so I did it by hand. They're not gonna be as symmetrical or crisp, but maybe the hand-drawn look will add some charm. I did one realistic pair and 3 fun pairs. I ordered a bunch of clear eye chips and I'm gluing them to the new designs using strong clear glue. This made the designs look a little better, I think. Then I cut them out and glue them to the eyeballs with that same glue. Pay attention to the placement of the eyeballs, especially if you have a design where it would be noticeable that it's upside down. I didn't pay attention, but luckily I ended up gluing everything the right way anyway. Now for the other part of the mechanism. Off camera I sanded the eyelids, then I painted them black. I've seen people put some fun designs on this part, but I just went for black to match my makeup. After that was dry, I sealed the paint and replaced the eyelashes. I got these false lashes that look a lot fluffier than the old ones. I trimmed them to size and basically shoved them into the little slit where the old lashes were. That's it. Moving on to the face, first I sanded to make it matte. Blythe dolls always come with really shiny faces. I started on the black plate, just to kind of get the hang of it, see what works. I found it helpful to spray some water on the doll, makes it less dusty, I think. Then I get to the faceplate. I do my best to get around the eyes and nose. At this stage a lot of people carve and sculpt new facial features, which looks absolutely gorgeous. I'm not confident in my ability to do that, so I don't. I feel like the doll's features work for my face the way they are. The only thing I did is sand down the tip of the nose to make it less pointy. After the sandpaper there were a lot of little scratches, so I smoothed them out with a softer nail file. Afterwards I tried to remove the leftover paint with nail polish remover, but that did nothing. Acetone is next on my shopping list. Guys, I got Mr. Super Clear. Yes, I am evolving. Along with it, I also got a filtration mask. That's very important. You don't want to be breathing that stuff in, and a simple medical mask will not cut it. So invest in a proper mask, don't spray it inside, and take care of your health, okay? Anyway, I sprayed the face with it, making sure to clean it beforehand. For the face up, I'm using acrylic markers and pencils from Ardex. I have reviews on them on my channel if you're curious. I'm also using black acrylic paint from Happy Color, nail art brushes, and pastels. Yes, I also got some soft pastels. I am evolving. This face up was very different from how I usually do them. I usually go straight in with paint, and my face ups aren't very soft. This time I was using pencils for most of it, and it felt pretty good. I was a lot more in control, and it was easy to fix any mistakes. The pastels weren't as pigmented as I expected, but maybe I just need to use them more and get the hang of it. I've been interested in Blythe dolls for years. They always looked so interesting to me, and don't get me started on the custom ones. I didn't know that they were originally created in 1972. That's crazy. Initially, they were sold for just 1 year in the US by Kenner, which was later purchased by Hasbro. In 2001, Takara began producing the dolls. They were very successful in Japan, which led Hasbro to issue a license in 2004 to sell Blythe replicas in the US. And in 2010, they began releasing their version of Blythe as a part of Littlest Pet Shop. I completely forgot about that part, and this just unlocked a memory for me. I really loved watching the LPS show, and I liked the character of Blythe. Then I discovered the dolls and was very confused on why they're so similar, down to the name. But turns out she is based on the dolls, and since both Blythe and LPS are owned by the same company, they just combined the two, I guess. That was interesting to read about. While drawing the face, I'm constantly looking at my own face in the mirror as a reference, especially for the lips. On the eyes, I'm pretty much recreating my real makeup routine. The eyebrows were probably the hardest. In the end, they're not perfectly symmetrical, but hey, mine aren't either, so that's accurate. I'm really happy with how the face turned out. Not too bad for my first Blythe repaint. After I'm done, I spray it with MSC again to seal everything, and that's it for the face up. Then I decided to partially assemble the doll, just the eyes, face, and hair, since I don't need them to be separate anymore and it's just easier this way. Also, I really wanted to see it all together. Please. Yes, yes, yes. Mm. Mm. Please. Mm. Oh my god. Oh my god. Before attaching the body, I wanted to work on the clothes. I'm going to recreate some of my favorite pieces from my closet. I quickly whipped up some patterns and sewed a few items. 2 black t-shirts with prints on them. First is this big skull made out of cats. The brand is Loot Crate, but I thrifted it years ago. Second is this Juki Laura shirt from Crop. I also really love it, and I just painted the prints with acrylic paint. Then I made a pair of ripped jeans. I got them from Crop as well. The most comfortable jeans I have ever owned. The rips were a little hard to recreate though. Next is a pair of jorts. They're from House. I used the same pattern I made for the jeans, just made the pant leg shorter, and I had to paint the fabric because I don't have any black jean fabric. Then I made a pair of black socks, nothing crazy. Next is this cat beanie that I love wearing in the winter. Luckily I still have the exact yarn I used for it. I'm not sure what size hook I'm using, it doesn't say. Most likely 2.5 millimeters. I'm also freehanding this, but it's not a complicated piece. I started with a chain of 15, then skip 2 stitches, and starting from the third one, do 12 double crochets, then do 2 double crochets in 1 stitch, turn the piece around, and on the other side of the chain do 11 double crochets and 2 in the last stitch. To end the row, do a slip stitch, but I switch from black yarn to purple. Do 2 chains and a row of just double crochet. Again, slip stitch into the first double crochet in this row, and I switch back to black. I keep alternating after every row. Do a row of double crochet in black, switch color. For the next row I did 14 double crochets, then 2 double crochets in 1 stitch, then 12 double crochets, and 2 double crochets in 1 stitch, basically widening the head a little bit. Then I did another row of just double crochet. Next I increased again, did 14 double crochets, 2 in 1 stitch, 13 double crochets, and 2 in 1 stitch. From here I just did 4 more rows of just double crochet, still alternating between colors. To end, slip stitch into the first stitch in the row, do a chain, cut the yarn, and pull it through the chain to make a knot. I pull the end through the stitches to hide it, and that's it. I hope the pattern makes sense if you decide to follow it. I'm not really a pattern maker, I just freehand everything, but the head turned out very cute. I could have made it a little bit bigger, but the stitch is stretchy so it still fits well. Those were all the pieces I made. I ordered this zip-up hoodie because I'm not good with zippers. It's really nicely made, very detailed, and the zipper works perfectly. I also got a little hair clip as a freebie, which is always nice. This is what the actual hoodie looks like. It's also from crop, and it has some designs on it out of rhinestones. I'm painting that on with a dotting tool and white acrylic paint. The patterns are not 100% accurate, and I kind of run out of room, but after the paint is dry I go over it with silver paint, and that's it. It turned out really nice, and it might be my favorite piece. For shoes I ordered these little sneakers, and I'm just painting them black. There was a black option on the website, but the pink ones were cheaper, so I got them. With the clothes out of the way, now I can fully assemble the doll. At this point I am also finishing the eye mechanism. Before there was just one string, you pull it and the doll blinks. I put 2 strings, got rid of the spring, and now one string closes the eyes and switches the eye color, and the other one opens them. This way you can do half closed eyes for a tired look, or close them completely and they will stay like that. And guys, I did not mess up the eye mechanism. It works. Механізм працює. Yes!
Міняються очі.
Ага. Я переживала, що я щось там напутаю і воно не буде працювати. А воно працює. Yes! Now it's time to decorate the strings for a little extra fun. I will take beads from this phone charm I got. If that wasn't obvious yet, purple is my favorite color. I simply string all the beads. I put the biggest one on the bottom. Then I tie the string, and later I actually superglued the end to the bead. I tried pulling on a string and the beads just slipped right off, so I needed to secure it. Then it was time for a haircut. I'm not quite sure what my hairstyle is. It used to be a jellyfish cut, kind of. Then it grew out into what it is now. I have shorter bangs, some framing pieces in the front, and the rest is layered. I also have a bleach streak in my hair, but I'm not gonna give it to the doll because I don't know how. Who knows, I might look like that in a month. This shot is horrible, but I hope you can kind of see what I'm doing. I started by trimming the bangs since they were a little bit too long. I like to keep my bangs right above my eyebrows. I tried to section the hair, do this kind of like professionals do it, but I don't even do this on my own head, so I quickly gave up and just started chopping away at the hair until it looked correct. Very authentic. I kept the length though. My hair isn't that long overall, but I love super long hair on dolls. In the end, the bangs are a bit choppy, the side pieces are okay, the back is uneven. Nailed it. Now, accessories. First up are these cool headphones. I don't go anywhere without them, so I was happy to find these. They're so detailed. The cushion parts are actually soft, and they're even adjustable. Like, oh my god, so cute. I love this stuff. Mine have stickers on them, so I'm putting the same ones on these. I could only fit 2 on each side though, but still, so cute. And they look awesome with the hat. Next, I'm gonna recreate my crossbody bag that I take with me everywhere, and I have a little kuromi keychain on it. I'm gonna make it out of felt and hot glue. It's not going to be functional, but it is what it is. I'm using brown felt instead of black because I only have a little bit of black left. But I actually didn't use that much, so I could have just gone with black from the get-go, but it's fine. I just painted it black later. This bag used to belong to my dad, actually. He bought it to carry his laptop, but then never used it. It was just in the closet for years. Then I found it and just took it. It was perfect timing because I wanted a bag like that so bad. Crazy story. It's a bit plain though. I really wish I was one of those people with super decorated cool bags with a bunch of keychains and pins, but I just can't. I'm too scared to lose anything. I tried to decorate it once and immediately lost my favorite plushie. So for now I just have Kuromi on it. I got it at my local store that sells a bunch of random stuff. It's literally called Chinese market. For the strap I'm using sewing hooks so it's detachable and easy to put on a doll. For the keychain I got this accessory pack. At the same store I bought the real keychain actually. There is a perfect little Kuromi charm in there. I found a spare clasp from an old bracelet and I'm gluing it to the charm. It was a little tricky. On the video I'm using super glue, but later it came off. I ended up using hot glue and then hot gluing a piece of felt on top of it. It hasn't fallen off so far. At first I attached it to the back with just the clasp, but it was too stiff. I added a little chain so the keychain has some movement. I really love the result. I love miniatures like this. And lastly, the doll needs a septum piercing. At first I wanted to be 100% accurate. I wear a simple ring with balls on the ends, and to recreate it I tried using jewelry wire and the smallest beads I have. But that was way too big. I just did not like how it looked, so I just bent a piece of wire, super glued it to the doll's face and painted it silver. It's not fully accurate, but it is what it is. I can live with it. With that, I am finally done and can put the doll together. I always love this part. I'm so happy with the end result, especially considering this is my first time owning a Blythe doll, let alone customizing one. I do have a few small nitpicks. The realistic eyes turned out a bit more green than my eyes. I should have used more blue. I saw the difference when the eye mechanism was already finished. Second is the septum. I do wish I could make it more accurate, but at this scale I'm not sure what else I could have done. And lastly, I should have worn gloves while doing the face-up to not leave any dirt or skin oils on the doll. I ran out of gloves and was too impatient, so I just did the face-up without them. Ideally, you should wear gloves. That's something to remember for next time. Also, I was really fighting with my camera for most of this. My phone does this weird thing where it makes the video smooth and weird looking, unless there's really specific lighting. So some clips look a little blurry, others look okay. I try to kind of fix it in editing. Overall, I am proud of myself. This was a huge challenge, but it was so fun. I might become a Blythe collector after this. But that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed this and maybe even learned something. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that. Check out my other socials. They will be on the screen and in the description. Stay safe and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!